Yes, this is Greg Pound for Sheriff 2012, making another video documentary. And I just want you to see this ad that I'm going to kick this documentary off with. It's called Raw Deal. This is a case here in Pinellas County where a young man by the name of Josh Cobbs in Clearwater is sentenced to 20 years, while the city attorney, plus Bel Air, his office is in Bel Air, Robert G. Walker Jr., he gets probation. Walker here comes out and kills his neighbor, premeditated first-degree murder, shoots him on his property, and he gets probation. And Josh Cobbs, you'd have to read this, and it's rightly labeled by the St. Pete Times, Raw Deal. This is here in Pinellas County, 49th Street Courthouse. And what you just see, if you call this fair, justice for all, and equal application of the law, then we have a misunderstanding. And this is one of the biggest problems we have with our racial differences in this country, is for some reason, people just can't see it. I mean, could you imagine being African American and you go into a system that has taken you from your homeland, where they don't kill babies, they don't kill America has killed 55 million other babies, aborted their babies. And you have people living in the jungle where they don't kill their babies. They keep them alive, they nourish them, they bring them up, and they're alive. Who do you think is more evil in the eyes of the Creator, of the Jewish, of what we call the Christian Judeo faith of America? Yahweh, the God of Israel, is the God that we serve in this country. And along with over in Europe, the Brits, where our whole system basically fled from. But either way, the whole issue is I want you to see the corruption that's going on in this county. And so what happens is what we have is a massive problem with corruption, not equal application of the law and justice for all. As Martin Luther King once said, as he made the statement, if there's not justice for one, there's justice for none. And so I'm being asked constantly this question about this thing over in Sanford, about the young man there, and then also ask me questions about this young man who was just sentenced for life in prison for shooting the officer. Now, first of all, the court system in the public schools have taken out of our public schools, thou shalt honor your father and your mother, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. These are things that one time was taught to our children. And what's wrong with teaching your children, honor your father and your mother? Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet what your neighbor has. Nothing. And so what happens is we have a system now that's internally destroying itself. The whole system is built now on corruption, and we have a massive problem, and I'm going to show you that. And that's why I'm running for sheriff in Pinellas County. Because the people that we even have running for, I mean, you've got criminals, outright, blatant criminals running for the system to be the most powerful position in this county is your sheriff. Now look at here, this is judge accused, then given more authority. This is St. Pete Times, this is Judge Downey, do you see that? Here's the man up there looking at child porn and pornography and masturbating while he's hearing people's court cases, and here's the guy given more authority. To promoting them, not demoting them, but promoting them. Here's a situation where you have a prosecutor up in the Panhandle. The guy's going to have sex with a 5-year-old little girl, 5 years old, and the guy's he's a coach. He's got a wife, children. All these guys are married and they have wives, and here they are having sex with little children. And what you just see, I mean, here you got Congressman Foley. Here's the guy he's a head of an organization working with children, and then he's a Congressman Foley since 1980, and here it is in 2006, he loses his position for 26 years. Here's a guy working with children agencies, and here he is, he's a pedophile, molesting children. Republican Foley. Now, maybe you remember all that or don't remember all these situations. And once you just see the corruption that we have, And it's all about the greed, the love of power, and just a lack of love for humanity. Here's another one, Pinellas County. Pinellas County gets okay to market to gay tourists. Now, what do you think they're marketing? What do you think they're marketing? I mean, you're in the #1 county. We have more child molesters. We have children being stolen from their parents, put in child molestation rings like Jesse De La Cruz for 10 years. These little Latino children were being sexually abused. The attorney over on Gandy Boulevard was paid $1.4 million and put a gag order on him where he won't even talk to people. I mean, here it is, you go and the guy won't even talk to you. Here's the court case right here. I mean, this is just insane once you look at these. This is the De La Cruz case right here, Jesse De La Cruz. And once you go and read this stuff and you read it, you say, this is insane. This kind of stuff that's going on in this county, Pinellas County, Florida. And once you see the abuse, I mean, and if I, just to be straight on the issue of what's going on, once you see children beat to death in a boot camp, have it on video camera, and then they're all found not guilty. When you have children shot in the back, people's children shot in the back at graduation parties, when you have run over by cars and all found not guilty, and when the south part of St. Petersburg comes together and says, we want an independent review board, and they can't even get an independent review board out of the sheriff's department, this is a problem. This is why if we keep electing these criminals, they're dividing us up. Their whole goal is to divide and conquer. They want to pitch races against one another, however they can do it, in order to say that we need more police, we need more of this, we need more of that. While they're creating the crime themselves. They're creating the internal problem, and then what it is their solution is to come down and incarcerate people. Destroy your family, steal your children. And this is exactly what's going on. It's been going on for such a long time now, it's out of control. And that's why I'm asking you to elect me, Greg Pound, for sheriff. And once we have a situation where they can get away with what they're doing, and nobody knows how to deal with it, I need a grassroots uprising in Pinellas County to get these guys out of office. You need to get them out. They're criminals. And in our forums and in our different debates here in this county, I want the people in Pinellas County to come to these, and you need to listen to what's going on. You need to listen. They need to answer for what they're doing here. And so this is why I'm making the video. You need to see the corruption that's going on in this county. I mean, it just goes on and on. You look at the Largo right here. Here we have the FBI. Here's the Largo. It says ex-officer had child porn. He's an ex-officer now because he's been busted for child porn, and he's a Largo police officer. FBI comes in, and there's a handful of officers under investigation out there messing with the children for child porn. Now, you got to realize there's a problem here. It's an epidemic. It's an evil that needs to be dealt with. It's a crime against people. Once they destroy these children, they put them on drugs, and then they're messed up for the rest of their lives. And this isn't love. Sex is not love, and money's not God in America. I mean, that's what they call love and sex. They call sex love and money God, but it's not. And my intent is to, out of my love for our country, out of my love for law and justice, it says the law can be summed up in one sentence, and that is to do unto others as you'd want them to do unto you. It's real simple. You don't do damage to anyone's person or property. And what happens is they don't want to teach this to our children. They don't want people to know of it. The whole system wants to keep this thing tight as they can and abuse people and use them for money. So I'm asking you to take this video that I'm putting together. I mean, this is, I mean, they put it right in your face. I mean, how much more blatant can you get? One gets 20 years, one gets probation. You need to read the article and listen to it. One shoots his neighbor and he's on probation. Do you call that justice for all? An equal application of the law? Premeditated murder, first degree. Shoots and kills his neighbor. And this is why something needs to happen. And then to think that they're putting parents in parenting classes out of the courthouse, ordering them to teach their children at 5 years old how to masturbate, teaching them about all kinds of perversion. And do you know, it's amazing, do you know the Bible says that sex does, what you do, what sex happens when you have sex outside of marriage? It breeds violence. It breeds it. It breeds violence. That's what it says. Sex outside of marriage breeds violence. And America is a violent, violent place. And so it's a choice. I mean, I don't know when people are going to say, hey, listen, you know, this stuff of, you know, you can't control what adults choose to do, consensual sex. But when you start messing around with children, and you've got people out of control, and their goal is to rape, molest, and use little children and put them on drugs, like they did the De La Cruz children for over 10 years. These children were raped and molested, and, I mean, treated like animals wouldn't be treated this cruel. And nothing happens to these people. And, I mean, how can you have a judge accused, then given more authority? I mean, come on. Judge Downey, facing allegations over pornography and harassment, is appointed to hear appeals. I mean, he's promoted. And, you know, so I'm just doing what I can as I'm running for sheriff in this county. This is my second time. And so I want you to look at what's going on in this county. And I think it's just a shame. Something needs to happen. I mean, this corruption of using people, the poor, the fatherless, and the widows, children who have no one to defend them, and these guys just keep going and going with no breaks. So, all right, I'll upload this, and remember, Greg Pound for Sheriff. Send this YouTube to everybody you know. Take your emails, cut and paste it on there, and send it out to everybody you know, so we can get justice reestablished in Pinellas County. And maybe it'll begin here. I mean, if we began taking the fluoride, the poison out of our waters, starting to clean up our water system. Let's clean up our judicial system and our sheriff's department. And it's going to happen, and that's where it's going to happen. So, all right, thank you very much.